Jack Ma didn't try to compete with Amazon immediately. Today, Alibaba is a global giant, but it started with a single step. Start small, think big. Help one client. Close one deal. Make your first $100. You don't need a billion-dollar valuation, you need momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Why does this matter in 2026? Because we are living in a time where AI reduces barriers and the internet removes location limits. The gatekeepers are gone. Remote work is normal. You don't need investors. You don't need offices. You don't need employees. The one-person business model is the most powerful vehicle for freedom today. Jack Ma started by simply connecting people. He didn't build the product, he built the bridge. You can do the exact same thing using the tools you have right now. Remember the final lessons. Rejection is just data. Lack of capital forces creativity. Communication beats coding every time. And platforms scale faster than products. Most people wait for confidence before they start, but Jack Ma taught us that confidence comes after action. You build it by doing the work. He once said, "Today is hard, tomorrow is worse, but the day after tomorrow is beautiful." Most people quit tomorrow night. Entrepreneurs push through. If Jack Ma, rejected, broke, and underestimated, could build Alibaba, what excuse do you have? You have more tools than he ever did. If this inspired you, like and subscribe. Comment, starting now, if you are building your one-person business this year. Your empire awaits. Jack Ma was born in 1964 in Hangzhou, China. He was not rich, he was not a tech genius. He was not even a top student. In fact, he failed his university entrance exam twice. He applied for 30 different jobs. He was rejected from every single one of them. When KFC opened in his city, 24 people applied. 23 were accepted. He was the only one rejected. He applied to Harvard 10 times. He was rejected 10 times. Most people would have stopped after 3. Jack Ma saw rejection as a data point in his journey toward anti-fragility. He later became an English teacher, earning about $12 a month. Now, pause. This is where most of you are. No capital, no connections, no Silicon Valley background. If you think you have no advantage, you are exactly where Jack Ma was. Your lack is actually your leverage. It forces you to build the only thing that matters, your human radical edge. What did he have? He had vision. He had the anticipatory vision to see where the world was heading in 2026 and beyond, before the technology even existed. He had curiosity. He had communication skills. He knew that if he could explain the why better than the giants, he could build a system that outran them. But above all, he had persistence. He knew that the vacuum of starting alone was where his skill stack would be forged. He wasn't waiting for success, he was engineering it. This is skill stacking for the beginner. You don't need to be a tech genius. You need to stack curiosity with communication and digital leverage to become a one-person powerhouse. Follow the wealth hierarchy. Jack Ma's expertise in communication was the base. His persistence was the capital that kept the business alive when the strategy collapsed. Build your foundation. To every student watching, Jack Ma's story is your guide to strategic transformation. You aren't just getting a degree, you are unlearning the habits of the employee and building the systems of an empire. With anticipatory vision, you can see the unbundling of the corporation. You see that the giants are slow and the solopreneur is the future. Prepare for dominance now. Jack Ma proved that you can start with nothing and become everything. You don't need capital, you need the resilience to stay in the vacuum until you become the storm. Here is your formula for part 3. Vision, curiosity, and communication, all multiplied by your persistence. That is how a 12-a-month teacher built Alibaba. Jack Ma had every reason to quit. He was rejected by everyone. So I have one last question for you. If he could start with 0, what's holding you back today? If you're ready to build your empire, subscribe to Smart Job Consult. Tell me in the comments, what is the one business you've been too afraid to start? I'll see you in part 4. In 1995, an English teacher from Hangzhou visited the United States. For the first time in his life, he used the internet. This was the moment everything changed for Jack Ma. He searched the word beer. American beer came up. German beer came up, but nothing from China. He searched China and found almost nothing. That's when he realized China had no digital presence. While others saw technology, Jack Ma saw a gap. He saw an opportunity to connect an entire nation to the world. This is anticipatory vision. He wasn't building a website, he was building a system. He saw the world of 2026 30 years before it arrived. In 1999, he gathered 17 friends in his apartment. No fancy office, no venture capital, no big investors, just belief in a system that didn't exist yet. For the beginner today, your apartment is your laptop. You don't need a budget, you need belief. You need to enter the vacuum and start building your own digital bridge. The idea wasn't complex, it was connection. Connecting manufacturers to the world. That is the solopreneur's winning formula, finding a need and bridging it with technology. Jack Ma was undergoing a strategic transformation. He was shedding the identity of the teacher and becoming the director of systems. He was unlearning the employee mindset. They worked in silence. They worked in the vacuum. That apartment was their 2-hour rule scaled to 24 hours. They were stacking skills that the giants didn't even know they needed. Follow the wealth hierarchy. The skills they built in that apartment, sales, communication, vision, were the foundation for the billion-dollar business that followed. Build the base. Step 4 for your empire. Find your beer search moment. What is missing in your market today? What does the world need that doesn't have a digital presence yet? To every student watching, your lack of capital is your greatest advantage. It forces you to build a human radical edge that no investor can buy. It forces you to be resourceful. The apartment phase was their training ground for anti-fragility. Every doubt from the outside world became the fuel for their internal fortress. They were built to survive the storm. Here is your formula. Observation of the gap, plus vision for the connection, plus digital leverage, all multiplied by your resilience. That is the Alibaba blueprint. Jack Ma didn't have technology, he didn't have money, he just had a search bar and a vision. So what is your excuse for not searching for your gap today? If you're ready to build your empire, subscribe to Smart Job Consult. Tell me in the comments, what is the one gap you see right now? I'll see you in part 5. Most beginners completely misunderstand Alibaba. They think it's just another online store. But the truth? Alibaba is something much more powerful. It is a B2B platform powerhouse. Alibaba doesn't sell products, it connects people. It is the invisible bridge between manufacturers and global buyers, between the source and the consumer. It connects suppliers to retailers, factories to entrepreneurs. It handles the how so that the solopreneur can focus on the who. This is strategic degrowth at its finest. Instead of taking on the risk of inventory, Alibaba built a platform. They own the connection, not the warehouse. Here is the lesson for you. You don't need to create products in 2026. You don't need a factory. You can build a one-man powerhouse by simply creating connections. Use digital leverage. Build a system that brings supply and demand together. While the giants struggle with logistics, you are the director of the connection. To every student watching, look for the friction. Where is the gap between a supplier and a buyer? That gap is your empire. Be the bridge, and the market will reward you. Follow the wealth hierarchy. Your expertise in finding and scaling trust is the base. That allows you to build a business that runs itself through the power of others' products. Leverage AI agents to manage these connections. Automation is the engine of the platform powerhouse. This is how one person outruns a corporation of thousands. Rebuild your identity. Use your 2-hour rule to research markets and audit suppliers. You aren't a worker, you are an architect of global trade. Consistency is your capital. With anticipatory vision, you can see the unbundling of the traditional retail chain. In 2026, the connectors will be the new elite, the ones who saw the digital bridge before anyone else. Your human radical edge is your ability to scale trust. While AI handles the logistics, your vision handles the relationships. That is why people will trade through you. This model is anti-fragile. If one supplier fails, your platform survives. If one market shifts, you pivot. You don't just survive the storm, you are built to benefit from it. Here is your winning formula. Connection plus digital leverage plus automation, all multiplied by your resilience. That is the true Alibaba blueprint. Jack Ma didn't create a single product. He created millions of connections. So I have one last question for you. Whose problem are you going to bridge today? If you're ready to build your platform, subscribe to Smart Job Consult. Tell me in the comments, what is the one gap you see between supply and demand right now? I'll see you in the finale. We've explored the man and the machine. Now, let's break it down simply. How did Alibaba actually start? Here is the exact step-by-step roadmap for your one-man empire. Step 1. Identify a gap. China had the manufacturers, but the world didn't know they existed online. Jack Ma saw a bridge that needed to be built. Step 2. Build a simple platform. No complex technology, no over-engineering, just simple listings connecting buyers and suppliers. Start before you are ready. Step 3. Build trust. At first, no one trusted online payments. Alibaba didn't just wait. They later launched Alipay to build transaction security. They engineered trust. For your business, your content is your Alipay. It proves your expertise and builds the security your audience needs before they invest in your vision. Step 4. Focus on small businesses. Instead of competing with big corporations, Alibaba empowered the small suppliers. They unbundled the giants by helping the leanest players win. This is your human radical edge. You don't need to be a giant. You need to be the one who empowers others to become giants. That is where the ultimate leverage lives. Step 5. Long-term thinking. Alibaba wasn't profitable immediately. It took years of patience. Success in 2026 requires you to think in decades, not days. This patience is built during your 2-hour rule. While others look for the quick win, you are building an anti-fragile system that compounds over time. Build the fortress first. We've climbed the wealth hierarchy. We've seen how rejection becomes data, how gaps become bridges, and how connections become empires. The roadmap is now complete. With anticipatory vision, you know that the solopreneur era is just beginning. In 2026, the director of systems will be the most valuable player in the global economy. This is the rise of the one-man empire. It starts with zero capital, zero confidence, and zero experience, but it ends with legacy. It ends with you. Here is the final formula: vision plus skill stack plus digital connection. X resilience, CAC success. Jack Ma used it to build Alibaba. Now, use it to build your life. The world is waiting for your connection. The gap is waiting for your bridge. Don't wait for permission. The market rewards the builders. I'll see you at the top. Jack Ma started in an apartment. Tiger Woods started at age 2. Where do you start? You start today. Build your empire. Build your legacy. Win alone. If you're ready to win, like, comment, and subscribe to Smart Job Consult. Tell me in the comments, what is the very first step you are taking today? See you in the next masterclass series. To every student on campus today, what if I told you that the man who built Alibaba was once rejected by every job he applied for after graduation? This is the Jack Ma method. Jack Ma wasn't a tech genius. He was an English teacher. He didn't have a corporate budget. He had a vision for a digital future that his professors didn't even understand. For the student with zero confidence and zero capital, listen. Jack Ma's 30 rejections weren't a sign to stop. They were his real-world MBA. He was building anti-fragility. The degree is the old contract. The system is the new one. You must unlearn the employee identity that waits for a paycheck and start building the version of you that creates them. In 1999, Jack Ma started Alibaba in his apartment with 17 friends. For you, that's your dorm room or your kitchen table. This is strategic transformation in its purest form. You don't need a massive team. You need a one-person powerhouse mindset. Stack your communication skills with digital leverage and AI tools while you are still in school. The giants of industry are the cargo ships. You are the speedboat. While they are stuck in corporate bureaucracy, you can pivot, test, and launch in days. Step 1. Commit to the 2-hour rule. 120 minutes every day of deep work on your skill stack. This is the compound interest that will outpace your peers. You have zero capital? Good. That forces you to be smart. Use AI agents as your staff. Use global marketplaces as your storefront. Leverage is the great equalizer for students. Follow the wealth hierarchy. Your expertise is the base. Focus on building high-value skills first. Income and capital will follow the systems you build. With anticipatory vision, you see the landscape of 2026. You see the unbundling of the corporation. You aren't just preparing for a job, you are preparing for dominance. Your human radical edge is your unique story. While machines handle the volume, your vision is the director. This is how you win alone in the digital economy. You will face the vacuum. It will be lonely. You will be doubted. But that isolation is where your fortress is built. You don't just survive the storm. You are the storm. Here is your formula. Vision plus a stack of skills plus AI leverage multiplied by your resilience. That is the student's blueprint for an empire. Jack Ma started Alibaba in an apartment with 17 friends. You have a laptop and a dream. So I have one last question. What's your excuse? If you're ready to build your empire, subscribe to Smart Job Consult. Tell me in the comments, what is the one skill you're stacking right now? I'll see you in part 2. Most people know Alibaba. Many want to trade on it, many want to make money through it, but very few know how it actually started. It was built by a man who failed exams multiple times, was rejected from 30 jobs, got rejected by KFC, didn't know how to code, had no technical background, and had no capital. That man is Jack Ma. And today, we're breaking down who he really was, how Alibaba started, and the exact step-by-step guide for you to do the same. Jack Ma wasn't a builder. He was a connector. In 1995, he searched beer on the internet and found no results from China. He found a gap. Step 1 for your one-person business. Identify the gap. You don't need to invent a product. You just need to find a disconnect between what exists and who needs it. Jack Ma didn't code Alibaba. He gathered people who could. He wasn't the technician. He was the visionary. He became the digital bridge. Step 2. Build the bridge. In 2026, you don't need to hire developers. You use no-code tools and AI agents to build your platform instantly. If you think you have no advantage because you have no money, you are wrong. Lack of capital forces, strategic innovation. It forces you to solve problems, not buy solutions. Step 3. Scale trust. Alibaba succeeded because it solved the trust issue between strangers. As a solopreneur, your content is your trust mechanism. You build trust by showing up, by sharing your human radical edge. People buy from people, not faceless corporations. That is your advantage over the giants. So here is your guide. 1. Find an information gap. 2. Bridge it with no-code tools. 3. Scale trust through content. That is the Alibaba model for one person. You have no experience? Jack Ma was a teacher. He had never run a business. Your lack of experience means you have no bad habits to unlearn. You are free to build the future because you aren't tied to the past. This is the quantum leap mindset. You leap over the steps others have to climb. Your formula is simple. Observation plus connection, multiplied by action. You don't need resources, you need resourcefulness. Jack Ma started because he saw a gap. The world is full of gaps waiting for you. So, are you going to watch or are you going to build? If you're ready to build, subscribe to Smart Job Consult. Tell me in the comments, what is one gap you see in the market today? I'll see you in part 3.